Glad tidings. Greetings to all. This is Chief Iron Bush speaking. Albert Einstein, whether your thoughts on him are positive or negative, maybe you think he was a gatekeeper, quite possibly he was. But he said, reality is an illusion, albeit a persistent one. Now, the reason it's persistent is because we live in a virtual reality universe. You and I verse. Uni means one. There's one spirit, one origin of eternal life and light. We live in an incredibly expanded, advanced version of a gigantic, you could say, computer game. Now, we must be careful when we get into the simulation theory, because if you don't have a foundation and you're not balanced within, then you can take this too far, just like anything. Technology, what most people call fallen angel technology and this and that, the God of this world, is starting to mirror the very reality that we are experiencing. So we have matrices inside of an organic matrix. Okay? So it's getting closer and closer to real, so much so that in the near future, there will be a computer realm where you will not be able to tell the difference than the pictures that you see on your screen right now. So if that is possible in this lifetime, then how can you say those that read the religious books, that idolize these books without even knowing it, they worship these books that have so much blood on them? The book even tells you, in the beginning, that man was made in our image, particularly in the Bible. And it says it all throughout the Quran. It says us. When speaking of Allah, it's always saying us. Just like Elohim is plural, the gods. So who were these gods? Well, take a look in the mirror. What image do you see? If you were made in the image of a particular set, a group of people 6,000 years ago, then that means 6,000 years ago, someone was playing with technology and made something in their image. Meaning, the very people that are called Elohim are people. They are men and woman. There was 3 different factions that are mentioned biblically. Adam and Eve are not 2 people. They are races. And then there's a 3rd race that is mentioned. That is the serpent. That is not one snake being person. These are little races, groups of people. There are 4 original bloodlines in this reality. Now, the sages of old were far more advanced than you can really quite fathom. Everyone speaks of CERN and things like this, and they think time travel is a myth and think these beings, just like you and I, you want to talk about time travel, they literally created another layer of time. They created another layer of time. Time is energy. They tell you in the words, what's time backwards? Emit. So time is a frequency that is emitted. That's why for you to conquer time, you must be always in the now. If you know now, then you've won and you are the one. That is Neo. So the advanced virtual reality technologies are all hijacking the way the five senses work. They're feeding digital information to the brain and tricking it into believing that something is going on that is not going on. We have a biological body computer. It has the ability not only to react to information and data, which is light, but also to assess the data and make decisions on it. Those that are controlling this realm understand, they overstand this. When most of you listening to this at this very moment have only a fraction of a clue. The base foundation of this virtual reality universe is waveform. That is born into sin. It is sine. It's the sine wave, which is vibrating energy. Within waveform, incredible, vast amounts of information can be stored. Just like in your DNA. That is light code. It's everywhere. It is all, DNA is not just in you. That's just the one that is directly linked to you. Okay? But it's everywhere. It's light codes. And incredible amounts of information can be stored. And that's what the base information construct of this virtual reality is. It's information in waveform. Waveform information is decoded through the body computer into the world that we think we are experiencing. But it's all going on in your head. It's the same thing as your eyes. Everything that your eyes see is upside down. It's literally upside down. It has to be decoded by your brain, and then you decode what light just went into your eyes. So that means your brain literally has the power. Your first eye is the one that sees the truth. But those that have taken control of this reality understand that they can hack this now. They can make you respond to something and actually manifest it just by the power of insinuation. This is what we call magic, when really it's just the knowledge of the construct. It's all going on in your head. It's almost a mirror, a much more advanced version of the wireless internet, Wi-Fi, where through a computer you can pull the World Wide Web out of the unseen to appear on a screen anywhere in the world. You don't walk and see the internet and pull it out, and when you Google something, you pull it out of the air and then you put it in your phone, on your screen. You smack it on your screen. No, you don't. So if they've made the whole internet where you can go anywhere in the world, as long as you have the technology, you can literally pull information out of the air, the ether, the aether. So how did they do this? They copied the real construct. So what are we doing? We are decoding vibrational information into electrical information. which is sent to the brain. The brain decodes that into the world that we think we are experiencing. The five senses change vibrational information into electrical information. This is the God they call El and Saturn and this and that. They've made these concepts into archetypes that are worshipped as gods. Yahuwah, Yahweh, Allah, which was Sin, the moon god, and the sun worship, the Atum, Yahweh, all of that. The light, the burning bush that's not being consumed. It's all about light. They're worshiping the construct. And those that are at the top are worshipped as gods. They are worshipped as gods. And it goes back into antiquity. But they are no different than you. It is you. You have the same power as any god, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Allah, Sin, Enki, Enlil, Marduk, Amen, Ra, Atum, Narmer, all of them. Ptah, and most of these characters are the same people, just told with a different story. Osiris, Haru, Asar, Haru. It's all the same stories over and over again. So we're decoding vibrational information into electrical information, which is sent to the brain. The brain decodes that into the world that we think we see. The five senses change the vibrational information into electrical information, which goes to the brain to be decoded into holographic information. So basically, the five senses are the decoding system. The most obvious one is sound. A vibration comes to the ear, sends a message to the brain, and the brain hears the sound. There is no sound until we have decoded it as such. Sound is just the vibration until then. It's the same with taste. It's an electrical signal that is sent to the brain and decoded. So an apple is sitting on a tree. Does it taste like an apple? You don't know that apple tastes like an apple. You don't even know if that's a real apple. That might be a whole fake tree sitting in a mall somewhere. But your brain automatically looks at that apple, and you can be tricked into thinking that's an apple. So much so, if you close your eyes and someone gives you something that feels like an apple, and you bite into it, you're going to taste the apple. But that apple has no taste until you bite into it. The vibration is decoded into electrical information through signals. It's sent to the brain and decoded. So an apple tastes like an apple only after it's been decoded. With sight, you only see a tree after it's been decoded. These are facts. So we live in a very advanced equivalent to the World Wide Web. The only place the internet exists in a usable form is on your computer screen or your phone, the black mirror. Everywhere else, it's just electrical circuits. The internet is useless if you don't have a computer screen or a phone or a device. The only place television exists as moving pictures is on a TV screen. Everywhere else, it's electrical circuits and broadcast frequencies. Only after we have decoded it does our apparent, quote, out there reality appear on our quote screen. Any other time it's just vast information construct. So in the cosmos, where information that is in the energy all around us, it's pulled out of the unseen. It's not coming from inside of your brain. You're only decoding it with, that's the hardware. You are not your body. It's the hardware for you to decode things. And it's been so poisoned and dumbed down that you can't, that's what they call your heart's been hardened. You are so dumbed down, you don't know what's what, to the point most people are just worshiping a book, waiting on what this book, no matter what book it is just waiting on the storyline to go. They are just powerless, have no power to manifest anything, when you should have the power of what you call God in you. Then know that you are that, to the point where you say, I don't care what's written in your book. I will actually come into agreement with 2 or 3 others that are vibrating at the same rate that I am, and we will blast that whole book just like them fireworks are blasting on the screen right now. We will blast that whole thing. They want you to believe in everything they've given you. What did you come out of your womb with? Did you come out of your womb with a book, a story? Huh? A prophecy in your mind when you was a little baby. All the energy is around us, and it's literally being pulled out of the unseen. It's the same exact thing your computer does with Wi-Fi. No wires, no connections. You're pulling the unseen onto your computer screen. So you think that's possible, but you think that what I'm saying is not possible with your body and your mind and your spirit. But you'll give this the power to this device in your hand that you have no clue how you even listening to my voice right now. You don't even know how it works. That's the same way you don't know how the true reality works that you're in. The same way you have no clue. If the changeover, if the post ship happened tomorrow, you would have no clue how to build up internet, how to make a phone, how to make a TV, none of that. So why don't you know how to use the technology that is actually you, that you're connected to, that the real you is connected to experience this reality? Why are you not focusing on that? Why are you focusing on Diddy and Trump and Chameleon Harris and all this other stuff out here, and you're not focusing on inner you, shadow work? You're focusing on a book, names and old stories of people that you don't even know it was even here. You have no clue. The only thing you know is now. And once you truly know now, you won. You beat the game. If we are all creating this reality, then why do we all see the same things? Why don't you walk out? If what I'm saying is true, then how come when you walk outside and you want to create a purple sky, how come we all don't see it? Why don't we see the same things, the same car, the same tree, and so on? Well, when you log onto this internet, no matter what part of the world you're in, when you came to the Chief Ironbush page, you all came onto the same collective reality onto this page, the same page as everyone else. You came to the same website, no matter where you are. Now, you have the ability to put your individual spin on it. You can take whatever you're gonna take these words, this information, this knowledge that I am giving to you freely. Each one of you is going to take it in a different way. But you're not going to see this picture different. You're not going to hear my voice different. Okay? That's the same way it is in this construct. It's the same collective reality. You just get to put your free will individual spin on it. So the body computer is pulling the collective reality out of the unseen, just like your computer, because we are all decoding the same basic construct. That's why we see the same things, because there is a source code. It's the basic construct. If you took all souls out of here and allowed the source program to run, all the grass would grow. Time really wouldn't exist. Everything would fade away. All the buildings would erode. Everything and all the grass and everything and the trees and everything would cover back Earth, and the animals and everything, it would go back to like none of this ever happened. That's the source code. Okay? What we do and do not decode from it is dictated by how our decoding system works. And that is dictated by our sense of perception. Perception. And that is what indoctrination attacks. That is MK Ultra. All of you talk about MK Ultra. What do you think the Bible is? What do you think religion is, period? That's the most basic form of MK Ultra. All you truthers out there, you think you're spreading the truth to people and this and that, but yet you still calling God by a name, Yahuwah, Allah, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva. These are all archetypes of energy, so you will have a better understanding, so we can communicate. These are not literal beings to be worshipped. Since the last pole shift, about 13,000 years ago, we have come into this world in a state of separation. Our beliefs are all based in fear, limitation, survival, coming all from our limited sense of perception. What you believe about life is what controls your life. I repeat, what you believe about life is what controls your life. And most of these beliefs, the most powerful ones, are on a subconscious level. The brain decodes reality through these beliefs, and it becomes a self-fulfilling reality. That is what religion is. You guys are on cruise control. And the more you read it and the more you teach it and send it out to people and stuff, you are putting them under MK Ultra. You're spreading the virus, not even knowing. Not even knowing it. Now, is there some good in it? Yeah, there is good. And it's all summed up in one verse. Christ said, you search in these books, in this text, thinking in them you're going to find some kind of secret to eternal life, but they are they that witness of me. Talking about the Christ energy, the Christos, the whatever you want to call it. You know, I used to tell people, oh, the Kundalini, no, that's evil because it's anything with a serpent. No, that's what they call the Christos over there. How you gonna tell somebody that they got it wrong because they don't use the same word as you? How you gonna tell the whole race of Oriental people they're going to hell because they don't believe they don't read the Bible, the same book, the Quran? How you going to tell the two most populated places in the world, India and China, that they're all going to go to hell because they didn't pick the right roulette number on the roulette table? When the so-called Yahuwah and Yahweh and them is up there gambling with Satan in the book of Job. Does that really sound like the true God. No, because if it don't sound like you, then it's not. And if it does sound like you, then you are not aligned with the true origin, the true greatest spirit. If you think that that is still the truth, you simply are not there yet. And it's okay. But that's why you have different people that are put in your life. Flag posts. There's a turn ahead. Stop sign ahead. The bridge gets icy up here. You don't come across videos like this, teachings like this, teachers like myself and others on accident. And it all boils back to our perception. What you believe about life is what controls your life. And as I said, almost all of these beliefs, and without a doubt, the most powerful ones, are all on a subconscious level. What is subconscious? That's just like your heart beating. Do you walk around thinking about your heart beating as you walk? When you're walking, do you say left foot, right foot, heartbeat, breath, breathe, heartbeat? Oh no, I didn't walk out, and then you fall? No, because it's subconscious. That's where logos come in. That's where these little things come in. Commercials, visuals, so-called assassination attempts. Things like this. It's where it all comes into play. One of the most sacred days in this realm just came yesterday. The autumn equinox. I'm not going to get too much into that. There's only 4 days you need to know when you're here. And that's one of them. And that day is about balance, harvest, and restoration, rejuvenation, and wholeness. But particularly about balance and distribution of energy. What are you going to distribute your belief, your energy, your perception into? What are you going to give it to? You going to give it to this book, this religion? Are you going to give it to this person over here because they're charismatic? Are you going to give it to this church up here because they just make you feel good when you go in there? It's all about how you feel. Feelings. The 5 senses. They have systems in place to control your 5 senses. It's just a decoding information system, just like the computer. Just the same way you put a flash drive in a computer, the information encoded in the computer then reads the information on the drive. That's what we are doing. And that's how we manifest this, quote, out there reality. Everything out there seems to be outside of us, but it's inside of us. That's why Christ said, well, it's not what goes into your mouth what defiles a man. It's what comes out of your mouth. Because you don't even know the power of your own words. They do. That's why they created this Babylonian one world tongue. You see? It's the same story over and over again. And you'll read the stories, and they got you pointing at people, calling them evil, and you not even knowing that's you. The same people that are calling the people Esau, not even knowing that they are Esau. The same one calling this one evil or this one evil, not even knowing that is them. They're talking about them. They're condemning themselves. That's why it says you got to forgive. The same measure you forgive, that's the same measure you're going to be forgiven. Forgiven by who? the greater one that is in you, that is you, your higher self, that is still connected outside of this realm, that's above you. Some of you have been visited, have actually visually connected to your higher self. I know. Now, it's all inside of us. We're creating it through the decoding system in our head, heart, and genetic structure. That's the DNA. So yes, there's light codes outside of us, but the genetic structure is your personal decoding system. That's the ancestors. Now, science tells us that there's they'll tell you there's a massive black hole at the center of our galaxy, when the reality is it's actually right here on Earth, and it's called Mount Meru by the ancestors. Okay? They'll tell you it's a giant black hole at the center of every galaxy, when the truth is there's one right here. It's the black sun. It's right in the middle of this Earth plane. Okay? And this black sun, this seed of the mother, basically resonates at the base vibrational frequency of this virtual reality universe. And the base frequency then interacts with the sun, what we call the sun, which actually there's suns. It triggers information, light codes, to be transmitted by what we call the sun in the form of photons. The sun, every star, planet, and everything you call a planet and everything is all suns. They're all the same. It's just different. They're different ones. We just got this infatuation with the sun because it's the one that regulates. It has the most updates. It's the daily update. It's like your phone getting an update. The sun is the daily update. Now you look a day older. You was out drinking last night. Now you got bags under your eyes. You look crazy in the face. Now you don't feel good. This and that. That sun updates daily. That's why it was worshipped as God. A lot of these beings that you are worshiping today, that you call God, started from the sun. And it's no different than any other light. The wandering stars, the Elohim, the first Elohim, not the ones that's talking about in the Bible. That's men. So this black, this antimatter, this blackness, this black hole, this dark matter they want you to think is evil. Everything dark is evil. Black is evil. Black people are evil. Everything dark is evil. Black magic, this and that. Now, are there things that go by these terms that are what you call evil? Yes. But you've been indoctrinated to be scared of this boogeyman. Satan, if you truly know the Bible, then you know Satan and Yahweh are one and the same. They ain't no different. They're both boogeymen. At the end of the day, they're both gonna get you. They're both gonna get you. It's just one promises to give you material things right here if you serve them now. Well, actually, the other, both of them do. Yahweh, there's not one verse where Yahweh talks about Yahweh talks about eternal life. Not one verse in the Old Testament does he promise eternal life. See, they mix it together with the so-called Father that Christ was talking about. Now you think that that's Yahweh too. It's just two different versions of him. Now this, it's the older, more mature. It's the grandpappy now. He's not the young dad that was beating your tail, abusing the crap out of you, coming home drunk. Thou shalt not kill, but go murder everything in 60 cities. Bring me back everything now. But in the next testament, oh, now grandpappy's in a wheelchair pulling up. Now he's Professor Xavier. But in the Old Testament, he's Magneto. Nah. News flash. He even tell you, he said, I fashion good and I create evil. That's what Yahuwah said. He didn't even say I create good, because he can't. He said, I mold good, but I create evil. One and the same, anyway. So, this light, this vibration gets sent from this black hole, or this black sun. It's the middle of the toroid field. It's the heart. It's your heart. It's where your soul is. And it goes to the suns and other lights in the form of vibration, which is then transmitted by photons. Now, photons are the base unit of light and all other forms of electromagnetic radiation. Ra. That's your Ra. They carry information. These photons generated out of all the suns, which is all the light you see, triggered by this vibrational base frequency coming from Mount Meru, the womb, the yoni, the sacred feminine, the great mother, creates the information in the energy around us within our reality. That's what we are decoding. Even the earth decodes it. It decodes the photon information that's passing through the earth energy grid. That's what was harnessed, what we call Tartaria. They learned to harness this photon energy through the natural grid. And in our personal grid, it's called prana. Prana is photon information that your body computer decodes. Photon is what the earth grid is going. That's why when you go outside and ground into the earth, you're grounding into the photon energy to the natural earth grid, but it has to be edified by your personal biosphere, which is called your aura, your spirit, your toroidal field. And that's what prana is. It's photon information that your personal body computer is decoding into this collective reality. So, miracles are simply overcoming the programming of what's possible and not possible. A miracle to one person might seem like ordinary stuff to another. A miracle to somebody out in the bush right now would be you coming with pulling up with a truck and got hydraulics on, start making it jump and bounce, and got music blasting out of it and stuff, and then you got lights on the bottom of it and this and that, or you come down down the dirt road on a motorcycle going 150 doing a wheelie with one hand and one foot. That's a miracle to them. That's stuff that some people do every day. The internet. They'll call you a god. There's people still here on this plane that if you show up with a phone and internet and some holographic technology, they will call you the Elohim. They will bow down to you. You're the Elohim now. You come out, a Navy SEAL pop out of onto the shore of the ocean. Oh, now they the Nomo people. It's the fish god. It's Dagon. It's Dagon. He got some kind of bag with things. He got this watch thing on it that a light holographic technology comes out of it. He got the tablet of destinies. They got the Marduk, and who Ninhursag, or Ninurta. Marduk and Ninurta got the tablets of destiny. the tablet of destiny. You could go somewhere right now in the bush and have a tablet, and you got the tablet of destiny. They will call you the Elohim. So a miracle is just simply overcoming the programming of what's possible, the programming, indoctrination of your subconscious of what's possible and not possible. We're programmed, for example, to believe that if you walk across fire, you're gonna get burnt. If you walk through fire with that belief, that decoded state, that you're already subconsciously indoctrinated to the core, that if you walk on hot coals, on hot fire, your feet are gonna burn. You're already scared to death before you even do it, because you're indoctrinated. Because you're indoctrinated. This is why Christ said to enter the kingdom of heaven. What's heaven? It's even, it's balance, perfect balance. Where is it? It's inside you. Same place Christ is, inside you. Where's the kingdom of heaven? Inside you. To enter the kingdom of heaven, you gotta come as a child. A child don't know all them lies and indoctrination. But if you can go into another state of consciousness and override that, you can walk across hot coals and not feel a thing. This is facts. You know how I know? Because I've done it. There are no miracles. There's just understanding, overstanding, or understanding how to manifest all possibility. This understanding comes from acknowledging that we are consciousness, disembodied, having a human experience. The body is only here. The only reason we have the body here is the way our awareness, which it comes from your consciousness, it's the way our awareness experiences this reality. If you wish to interact with this reality, which is just a frequency range, you have to have an outer shell that vibrates within this frequency range. That's why these beings, these what they call demons and these other beings that aren't here, they want to get into bodies and things because they're disembodied spirits. They don't want to move on, or they can't, because they're not vibrating high enough to move on, but they're not vibrating low enough. They don't have a vessel to hop into. They don't have a shell. They're like a slug, they're like a snail without a shell. That's what disembodied spirits are: ghosts, demons, this one, that one. Looking for somebody that's frequency is their soul frequency, spirit is vibrating so low, so indoctrinated they can hop up inside you. They're looking for someone that is of the world. Not in the world, but of the world. Then they can take access to your shell, see? Because for you to interact with this reality, it's a frequency range. It's a dimension. You have to have an outer shell that vibrates within this range. Now the consciousness, which is your true self, vibrates far too quickly. It's on a far different wavelength. So you take on this outer shell, which we call a body, that enables you to interact with this reality. Are you trapped here? No, you're not. You have the opportunity to experience this reality with love. Those you love, they are love. It's not people you love. You don't choose. It's not your family that you love. They are love. Each person that you love is love. Okay? When you have disagreements and things like that, it's still love. It's because you're experiencing this reality. And the physical foundation, the source code to this structure gets in the way sometimes. That's those that are wavering. It's hot, cold, and it's lukewarm. That's what it is. The lukewarm is wavering. It's in the middle. That's the ones that are always in conflict with themselves. That's why Christ said, I'd rather you be hot or cold. I'd rather you be the top of the wave or the bottom of the wave. But you in the middle, you stuck in the current, you just going wherever the world takes you. The world. You're being whirled around. Now, if you believe that the vehicle, the body, is who you are, then you go from all consciousness to an individual identity. That's what this world is set up to do. To make you be an individual identity. And then they got layers of it. So once you get past, oh no, I'm not an individual identity, I'm a Christian. Oh, now you just one layer up. Now you just identify with anybody that identifies with this certain book and this certain belief system. So now you done move from an individual to a hand. You went from a one cell now to now you're a lump of cells now. And you still ain't the whole thing yet. Because you told me it's only one way. It's only one way. You got to believe this and this and this and this and this. And you got to say this just like this. Repeat after me. Come up here and say this. And yep. That's it. You got it. If not, you're going to burn in hell. Nope. You only went one little itty bitty layer up. No, it's nah, man. God's name is Yahuwah. Yahuwah Elohim. And it's only 12 tribes chosen one. Everybody else is the Gentiles. Esau. This one, that one. Yaakov, big head Yaakov, and this and that made up, made the Caucasians came out the cave. You just went from an individual to a gang. Now you in a gang. Congratulations. You're now a Crip or a Blood. And you still not one. You're still not connected to the Great Spirit. You're building Legos like a little baby. If you're still taking part in the Legion. That's all you are. You went from an individual to a legion now. So, what does this do? It makes you, it takes you from going from all consciousness, from all possibilities, all consciousness, all knowing. You can tap into all the ancestors, all that's ever have been, that ever will be. You can tap into the all. You can be the prophet. You can be the healer. You can be the Christ. Or you can go to the individual or the legion and basically become a powerless victim to a book that's telling you what's going to happen, and you just sitting back waiting on it, waiting on a being to come save you, waiting on this prophecy to come by. You don't know who wrote it. You have no clue who wrote it. I could do a whole teaching right now and show you receipts of who wrote all of these books. It was literally written by hundreds of men. Hundreds of men, not just one, two, a council of Nicaea, hundreds, if not thousands. And I ain't just talking about the Bible. So, basically, you turn into a powerless victim. This puts you in a false identity. One that doesn't think all possibility. You don't believe you can resurrect anybody. You don't believe you can do greater things. So you can't believe in your own book, because Christ said that you all will do greater things. So you're a powerless victim waiting on somebody else to come save you, waiting on something, anything to come save you. A pole shift, a cataclysm, a comet, a tidal wave, Yahweh is gonna come back and just kill everybody except 12 tribes. And then a cube is gonna come down. A cube is gonna come down and you're gonna go into the cube. Come on. Come on. Is knock knock. Is anybody there? So what this does is it makes you think that you don't have all possibility. You do have limitations. And you're not the Christ. Or if you don't call it Christ, you're just a powerless victim. You want to blame the white man. You want to blame the black people. You want to blame mixed people. You want to blame the border. You want to blame people that's from another country. You want to blame the economy. You want to blame this. You want to blame that. When you literally have the answer to every single thing that you complain about. You literally have the answer to all that. You don't need no money. You don't need none of that. You don't need their food. You don't need their water. You don't need none of that. What holds us back is our love. That's where they got us by the basketballs. Is our love for those that don't get it. So we stick around and we stand and we stay by their side. And that's pretty much what the story of Christ is, whether you believe it was a man here or not. I'd say the reason that Christ is real is because it's in me. I am the Christ, as you are. If you tap into the real you. Now that religion is false and that book is evil. And that Yahweh God is no different than Satan. Matter of fact, he killed far more people than Satan did in the Bible. There's only documentation of Satan killing, I think, between 12 and 15 people. When Yahuwah, you can literally add it up, it's over 1 million. And that's just what's mentioned in the Canaanite version, Canaanized version, Canaanite version, from the King James transvestite version, authorized version. Do you see? Worshiping Allah when it was Allat, the great mother. And then it turned to sin, a male deity that took over the moon. And then it became Allah. Mohammedans and Yahwist is what they're called. There was no Jews and this and that. Wasn't no Christians, Jews, Muslims. It was Mohammedans, Yahwists, Jacobites. You don't even know the real story, but yet you're putting your whole incarnation, your whole being into it, but you're not even being. When's the last time you would just be? You. The consciousness that you are. All possibility. That is you without limitation. You are all consciousness, all awareness. A spiritual being having a human experience. All possibility beyond vibration. You want to know what God truly is? It's on the other side of the waveform universe. That's just Saturn, on the other side of Saturn. Saturn is the Father God here. Newsflash. That's the top Father, El Elyon, the Most High. That's Saturn. Every religion on Earth goes back to Saturn. Facts. It's the lightest light. It's the lightest light. They tell you in the books, Come as an angel of light. Well, Saturn is the lightest light. The highest vibration of all the wandering stars, because it's on the last timeline, the last time frequency. It's the bet in the Phoenician, aka pre-Canaanite alphabet or alphabet. It means home. It literally means home. The bet is the symbol for Saturn. It was hijacked from civilizations that was here, that was in harmony, that venerated the Great Mother, the feminine energy. So, if you really want to know what God is, what the Father is, it's further. It means it's further. And Christ said, like, at the end, you're going to be, the 144,000 will stand on top of Mount Zion singing a new song. That's the new frequency. Zion is Zoion, which is the original word for zodiac, the wheel of animals. You now have you have risen above your low animal self, your lower self, and you are standing above all the lights you see in this world, in this virtual reality. You are beyond it now. You're standing on top of Mount Meru. You are above it all, looking down on it now. Now you have reached your higher self. Now you are born again. Now you are your higher self. You're back into your higher self fully. So Father is the further on the other side of the waveform. And you know what it is? It's that's why it resonates more with the womb. It's a womb. It's a feminine energy, because it's stillness and silence. It's what CERN's trying to tap into. The black hole, the yoni. It's the stillness, the silence. Because if it vibrates, if it's a wave, it's an illusion. It becomes the waveform universe. All possibility is everything and nothing. So God has to be everything and nothing. The nothing is the no vibration. That's why they tell you in the Bible, this thing that is calling itself God in the Bible, it tells you it came to earth and the spirit was hovering above the waters, the primordial waters, the nothing. That is the true source. Out of nothing comes the realm of something, the realm of form. That's what CERN is trying to tap into. There was a time, before any of these waveform universes existed. The eternal oneness and perfect awareness of itself was all there was. It decided to create this multi-dimensional reality in order to give oneness an opportunity to experience all the possibilities offered in waveform. So he, she, the great mother, the great father, I wouldn't say the most high, because it's that vibration of words, that babble is connected to Saturn. But if you want to say he, she, split him or herself into two. Part of him or her stayed on the other side, which the Gnostics call the pleroma, while his or her other half stepped into the newly created worlds. That is you and I. Then it kept splitting and splitting and splitting. That's the splitting of the atom. I have a teaching on this on the Facebook page, Chief Ironbush Facebook page. It's an oldie but goodie. It's called Splitting of the Atom and the real first 10 commandments. I recommend you go check it out. So out of all possibility, there is virtually an infinite number of ways to experience this waveform universe. And your dreams are just some of them. And this in all different dimensional levels. You can't even fathom the dimensional levels. There's 144 dimensions going through where you're sitting or standing listening to my voice right now. 144 different dimensions right there with you right now. That's a fact. We live in a frequency range that is dictated by the range of frequency that our body/computers can decode. So we are virtually blind in terms of all that exists. The majority of the universe is what science calls dark energy or dark matter. It's called dark because they can't decode it. Anything they can't figure out, they call it magic. And to keep you away from it, they'll tell you it's bad or it's evil, it's dark. No, it's just they can't figure it out. When they figure it out, then they take it and they use it against you. You see? And then they make it evil because it's the intent behind the will, behind the consciousness, the God power. That is what creates evil. The intent behind the God or goddess that is using the unknown. We only see 0.0035% of reality. The electromagnetic spectrum is 0.005%. We don't even see all that. Visible light is all that we can decode unless your first eye is open. We are locked into this dimensional reality, which we call home, and we don't know how to get out. But the good news is what they call the go spell. The go spell meaning you're gonna go. The good news is we're beginning to remember and repair. This is Chief Iron Bush. Love, balance, wholeness be within you and all that you love. Me set.